You ever seen this video? If you like Sonic, you might have. It's a tad controversial, and with good reason. Now, I'm not gonna tell you that Sonic is perfect, or that Sonic 1 is a perfect game, but I will say that this video criticizes it for all the wrong reasons. If you've been a part of the Sonic YouTuber community, you've probably heard of these 4 core elements of classic Sonic: speed, exploration, platforming, and if you're a big classic Sonic fan, you might think this is the most important one: physics. Pinball physics. These are the reasons why we love the classics. Sonic feels good to move with. He is our pinball, and we are the machine, hurling him into the air, pushing him towards bumps and springs, having fun with it. Again, Sonic 1 isn't great at this. In fact, only 3 levels fully develop this, and if we want to be honest, only Green Hill Zone fully explores speed and physics. The other levels focus more on slow platforming, light exploration, and they punish you if you go very fast. These are 3 zones that I think most Sonic fans agree that they are bad. And this is why I think most Sonic fans agree Sonic 1 is not a good example of what Sonic can and should be. But this is not the case, again, for the other half of the game that does this good. In Spring Yard, you can use the pinball physics to your advantage to speedrun the game, and speedrunning is essential to Sonic's core identity. Yuji Naka intended Sonic to be a skill speedrun-based platformer. Sonic 2 further developed speed and exploration, and in Sonic 3 all 4 elements are fully developed, something that Mania will also do. This 8th NW, this is why your video is so controversial and so hated. You imposed this idea that Sonic is about speed, and that Sonic is about giving you speed. Which is hilarious for us Sonic fans, when most of us complain that Sonic 2 and the Boost games are nothing but boost to win or press left to win. Although admittedly myself, I don't think this is the case. I do recognize they are easy. Now, saying that a game is bad because you imposed on it the idea that it should reward your speed with satisfaction is a horrible way to analyze a game. You compare this to if Mario removed the jumping and gave you the jumping for beating it without jumping. Mario doesn't reward you for jumping. It rewards you for jumping good. The jumping is a skill Mario has that you have to use. Sonic doesn't reward you for going fast. It rewards you for using his skills, the physics, the jumps, the rolling, and good timing, and your good reactions. To use the branching paths of levels to explore, to speedrun, or to do whatever you want Sonic to do. In this aspect, Sonic is also a very sandboxy-like game. Geek Critique nailed it in his analysis. Sonic is about speedrunning, using the tools, again, skill-based. Skill is rewarded with speed. Skill is knowing how to use Sonic to gain flow and overcome obstacles. The game never hinders you. The obstacles never prevent you from going constantly fast. In fact, if you ever seen a speedrun of Sonic, the great players have never slowed down. They don't even have to stop moving Sonic. And this was intended. In your response video, which is also controversial, you say that a game shouldn't reward you with speed on a second playthrough. And again, this is what you equated with when you said that Mario shouldn't reward you with the jumping. But again, the flowing isn't something that Sonic has in the beginning. This isn't Sonic's gun. The flow isn't Sonic's gun in a shooting game. The flow is Sonic's reward. I like Sonic for the physics and for the flow. And I like to feel that I made Sonic have that flow. It is enjoyable to watch. It's a spectacle that you made. Obstacles in Sonic are used to further increase the sense that you have overcome a challenge of how to go fast. Obstacles in Sonic in further games are made to prevent you from falling into worse obstacles, like in Hilltop Zone, or to fall into spikes. So again, obstacles aren't random. Obstacles are placed carefully to both make sure the player is aware of his surroundings so he can further grow the sense of skill and flow. Mario is rewarded for understanding the level. Now, again, in your response video, you talk about how would a first-time player react. And I want to ask, how would a first-time player react if he was a kid who played video games in 1991? Ever seen AVGN? Old games are hard, frustrating, and fucking obscure. Platformers were especially hard because of memory constraints. It had to encourage repetition. And they also knew that you were going to play the first level a lot of times, because every time you reset the console, you were going back to level 1. This is what Yuji Naka intended. He knew everyone was going to play Green Hill Zone every time they booted the Genesis. So he made sure that the level was as enjoyable and replayable as possible. And again, rewards you with skill. This was the norm. Every gamer was used to it. Ever seen Hungry Gordia? Because you should. Great YouTube. Recommend. And Hungry Gordia teaches us something else. Old games aren't hard, obscure, or frustrated when you use the manual. As any kid from the time would, and any kid from the 2000s. Only in the 2010s do we depend on the internet for game tips. Back then, I still remember using manuals when I had those. Sonic isn't Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Sonic is in fact a very easy game for the time. So to complain that the game for the time would be very confusing for a first-time player, or would not make much sense, is nonsensical. The only thing that would be new would be the physics. And that's the revolutionary good part. That's why people love F-Zero. It's why people love speedrunning Half-Life. Now, before you go, I'd like to thank, which I am going to link below, for helping me make the graphs, the images, the thumbnail, and the animatics for this video. I'd also like to thank Shadow266. He's a friend of mine. He also helped with the script. Now, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, make sure to comment, as I will read them, and I will comment on them if I have the time. Remember to subscribe and ring that bell. Until next time, this has been Vilcart with a game design rant.